You know what it is, man. This is the check-in. First and foremost, I'd like to apologize for the lateness. We had a bunch of things going on because we're hard at work over here to bring you guys really good content. So we was hard at work doing some stuff, lost track of time. But guess what? We might be late, but I'm gonna tell you right now, we're always on time. You know what I'm
We on
saying?
time. 10-4.
And right now, you got myself, heat detectors in the building, the co-host right here, the great.
Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy Jizzo, Shy City Cypher. You already know.
Yeah. And we got
And
a
it's your
special
boy
guest in
OT.
the house. Well, we got OT. My bad, OT.
It's cool. No problem. Yeah, we doing what we do, man.
Forgetting OT? Why you forgetting OT?
Hey, man, it
Hey,
happens
hey, hey,
sometimes.
hey, he ain't forgot me.
Nah.
He can't forget
I ain't
about
never
me.
forgot. I ain't never forgot him. I never forgot him.
I ain't gonna let that happen.
Yeah.
Not that easy.
But we also got a special guest in the house. You want to introduce yourself to the people?
Yo, what up, family? I go by the name of D Skiles. That's SKYLES. Shy City Cypher Volume 1 alum. Just here, in support of Heat Detector and Jizzo here. And OT, good to meet you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Happy to be here. He told me what the topic of the day was. I was like, oh, no, I need to definitely be here for this. So
right.
nothing happens without design. So,
yes, sir.
There it is.
And we do have somebody behind the boards. I don't know if he's going to talk, but as
Hola.
there you go. That's his name, Ola.
Is that the engineer?
Yeah, that's an engineer. But anyway, the topic tonight is the stigma of therapy.
Oh,
Now, Jizzo had said earlier, as I told him the topic, and by the way, I apologize for not giving you the topic beforehand. Again, OT, we was
how we
shaking.
Move.
And Jizzo had said that we spoke about it before, and I was just like, yeah, we spoke about the stigma of it, but there's so many layers to the stigma of therapy, especially for men and especially for men of color. There is a huge stigma. And when I say that, I mean that like if it ain't your family telling you that only pussies or whatever in the hell. By the way, disclaimer right quick, some of us talk a certain way, and that would be me. That if you get offended, if you have you know what I'm saying, cotton candy ears and dream of bunny rabbits and rainbows and all that kind of shit, this is not for you. If you want to listen and learn something, maybe even get something out of this is for you. But do not come in here with your emotions on your sleeves. And with that being said, we're not trained therapists, we're not counselors, we are just men that have had a journey, and maybe one of our journeys will speak to you, because we're all here to grow. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so Jizzo was saying that the topic has already been ran through, and I disagreed. I said that the topic itself has a shit ton of layers. You have family that'll tell you if you're a pussy, don't go to therapy. You're a pussy if you go to therapy. That would be one. Another one that I can think of off the top of my head would be, don't go be telling your business to somebody you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Not to mention your clergyman or minister or your pastor or whatever will tell you, come to me, don't go to them people. You know what I'm saying? Or your best friend might say, hey, man, don't do that shit. You don't need that shit. You good, man. You good. There's levels to this shit.
Can I start off the show with a story that I think I spoke about it when we were on Let's Rap Coffee and Wellness.
Sure, go ahead.
But I think it was important because in the end it ended up not being something big, but it was just kind of an example of why I asked LaShawn on the show. I said, why is my mental health not as important as yours? And so I told her a story about how I dealt with somebody I was in a relationship in the past that came to where I worked at, and they kind of try to jump on me, right? And so my coworkers and everybody that was there ended up kind of getting in the middle. They had to call the cops. And so it got real nasty or whatever. And it was like a really like fucked up night for me, like emotionally. Like I went through a lot, like going through that in front of everybody. And she saw that, Right. And so later on, she ends up posting a status saying, comment your name and I'll tell you 2 things that I love about you. So I commented my name, and she commented, I love the fact that I got to see you get your ass beat by your girlfriend at the bar that night.
Wow. That's crazy.
And I said to her, well, I know that you currently have a couple of lady friends that are getting abused by their men. I hope that you comment the same when they comment their name on the post. And we ended up talking about it, and she was like, you know what, it was a real stupid joke, and we're over it or whatever. But it just goes to show you how off the top our mental health doesn't matter, because it's kind of like, oh, your girl did that, it was funny, you know. But it's along those lines, man. And that's just a story to show you where, you know, it's not even, because imagine if some girl wrote on your post where you said that, and she wrote, you know, her name, and you put, hey girl, I love the fact that I saw your man slap the shit out of you at the show that one time. Right. You'd be canceled so quick, bro. Like Skiles would be done in Chicago.
They wouldn't, man. They wouldn't cancel me fast enough. I swear, because I think that's one of those things where just the fact of us being men, the general consensus is, okay, you're strong. You can
deal with it.
Yep, you can handle that. Oh, you know, you're gonna let a few words get to you, or you know, that case. But the one thing is that people need to understand that you need to make your words as sweet as possible, because you never know when you're gonna have to eat them. So
interesting, like that.
Break that down for those that may not understand exactly how you said that, because you know how some people you just, I'm not saying everybody's dumb and stupid like that, but obviously it's kind of like a metaphor, and you might want to explain that to some people, like, you know, why would you make your words sweet, because you never know when you're going to eat them. What does that mean?
I say that in the context of when you speak, and you are putting words, you are literally creating words out of your head, and you are now committing them into the air.
Right.
You are giving life to that verbiage.
Right.
And you also have to understand that there are people that are so divinely connected where if you are spitting words of vitriol, they have the power within themselves to say, return to sender.
Right. Gotcha.
And whatever ill intent that you're wishing on somebody, that will turn around and come back to you.
Right.
Again, make your words as sweet as possible.
You never know when you're going to eat them. Got you.
Like that.
Yeah. What you think about that, OT?
We'll take that one. That's some seriousness. That's that thing where we say, be careful. You know, words have meanings. You know.
Absolutely.
And we understand that words have meanings, especially with our rap culture and our way of communicating. Anyway, so I like what he said, though. You know, definitely make sure you putting out the best that you can. Once you break it out these lips, once the thought, you can have whatever you want. But once it breaks these lips, it should be you got to be able to own that. So
you can't call that back.
Yeah.
As my mother used to say, rest in peace, that you know, I used to get slapped in the back of the head a lot, and she said, you know, think before you speak.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Think before you speak. Now, even with that being said, like OT, you've had the opportunity, because you being a retired military and drill sergeant, you've had, again, like we've said this before on many shows, you had the opportunity, and also kind of a blessing, to work with a lot of broken ass men that come in to the military. And what do you think, like the stance, if the military has any stance on therapy? Do you see that as getting pushed, like the dudes giving pushback and not wanting to do it, and then the military saying, oh no, you're gonna have to go do this shit, or do they just kick them the fuck out?
No, it is definitely, like you said, especially this new military, because let's go back 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it was shut up and deal with it. But the new military understands that our workforce, our new military, and our new men and women are more educated. So you cannot get away with shut the hell up, man the hell up, just take it, as well as when you start doing the counseling. So when we, as drill sergeants, you know, as I just retired last year, when we come in, we used to break them up. We used to do that shark attack. We used to take all that little, whatever they thought they had, whatever little power, we crush that ass and give it to them like we wanted to. Now we've changed it a little bit, so because we understand we're dealing with a more mature and a more educated person. So now we need to use a lot more of the intelligence anyway. So it's definitely true. And counseling works. I mean, just talking, and that's why we got this. That's why our show evolved from what it was to what it is now with the check-in, because we need to communicate. It's what it is. It does us good. You speak positive, you get positive. Every now and then you might have to get a little rough and got to crush. That go with it. but for the most part, it's the understanding that words do matter, and you need to be on your words. So that's definitely 100.
Right. Well, even with that, like some people know how to communicate. Let's just say that some people are natural born communicators,
Natural communicators,
and some people aren't. Some people are boxed in and closed in because of trauma in their life and things of that nature. Some people just are in a refusal to talk. Some people just listen to their granny or the grandpa that told them, you don't tell people your fucking business.
Right.
How do we speak to those people? How do we get through to those people to tell them that therapy is good for you and that it will help you? And it's not you telling your business, and it's not you doing this or this and that, or telling on your fucking nasty ass uncle or whoever in the fuck. You know what I mean? Because all of these things, the more you keep them inside, the more they fuck with you.
Right.
The more you stuff that shit, the more fucked up you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody want to jump in on that?
I would definitely agree that therapy helps. And I can speak from experience because I have just finished my 5th session now with a therapist. I had initially tried therapy, I want to say maybe about a year or two ago, but the therapists, they I guess, they weren't as effective as I would have liked for it to be. So I finally took this 3rd chance, and
wait, back up. Why would you even say, oh, I gave it a 3rd chance? Like, why does it calculate in your mind that you're giving something like you're giving a chance? This is helping. No, I'm just being
absolutely, like, by all means. Absolutely.
I think a lot of times us as men, sometimes we get stuck in these backdoor words, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, I'm going to give it a chance. Like you're skeptical about it, or like there's something wrong with it. You know what I mean? Because when you hear, because we're also talking about manifesting and things that come out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that goes to show, and I'm not trying to point the finger at you, but it just goes to show the stigma of therapy.
Absolutely.
Because even though you're already in the process of getting better and becoming and growing as a man, there's still a little thing in the back of your head just by that one word right there that says, I'm gonna give it a chance to see how this little therapy thing works out. You know what I'm saying?
And I could definitely see your point to that, because when I first started, it was due to, I would have to say, some issues that were going on at home,
right?
And to where it was one of those things where, like, hey, listen, this is something I need.
I'm listening. Talk to the people, man, because there's somebody out there that might need to hear this. Talk to them.
It was to a point where I was thinking, like, okay, if I don't do this, then I'm gonna lose everything.
So was it an ultimatum that life gave you, or an ultimatum that someone else gave you that pushed you in that direction?
It was a self-realization.
Okay.
It was one of those things where I had to really sit down and be one with myself to really think this through and say, I need to talk to somebody to get a handle on this.
Right.
One thing is that I'm an MC, right? So one thing about words is that I can make them come to life.
Right.
And that's a double-edged sword. Yes. Because whenever I'm angered, then it's to the point to where there are diss tracks on family members that are in the vault right now that will never see the light of day.
Right.
And that's just one of those things where I'm like, okay,
they know now.
Because here's the thing is that they know that there's a diss track there, but they don't know the content. They'll never know that. Right. But the one thing is that I had to understand that I need to get a better hold on things. That there's other ways that I can get my message across without having to have that venom behind my words.
Right.
So that was one of the things that I had to come to terms with. And one thing I will say is that, due to just our existence in this country, if you're a person of color, you need therapy, period.
Oh man, shout out to that.
Let's just
throw that shit in. Let's throw that shit in there right now.
If you are a person of color in this country, you need therapy, period.
Big facts.
Male, female, whatever you identify as. If you identify as a giraffe, you need therapy.
Right.
Right.
But during these few sessions, again, I'm just starting to break the surface. So I know that there's a lot more that needs to be unpacked, because with every man, we understand that there's a lot of responsibilities that fall on our shoulders.
Say that again, bro.
We have to deal with the job woes and the politics thereof. Sir, I'm glad that you no longer have to deal with that. And thank you for your service, by the way. I appreciate
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Shout out to OT.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
My brother's a retired Marine, so I have just an inkling of an idea of what you guys did just to keep us civvies safe at night. So we appreciate
Roger that. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Yes,
So with the job woes and the politic woes that we have, then we have to deal with everything that's encompassed at home. When you get home, you might have been talking to people all day. Now you got to go home and you got to talk to her. And so now it's like, okay, now we still have to continue that conversation. We gotta give time to the kids. And then other family issues that, that one thing is that I've learned a long time ago that saying no is a talent.
Wow. Okay.
Because once you take on somebody else's problem, they call it an SCP. You take on an SCP, somebody else's problem, and then now you're putting more on your plate. So it's definitely
isn't that like a requirement for us men? It's like, okay, our plate, for the sake of just saying this, our plate is just open. Now, when I say that doesn't mean we have our plate open. Everybody else, our plate is open, and it's supposed to be open, and we got to take that. And we got to put that on top of the other shit that's on top of our shoulders, and take that, and continue to take that,
and keep taking it.
Right. Now, some of that is like generational shit. You know what I mean? People, again, we're talking about family members that give you pushback. You know what I mean? Yeah. Be a man. Be this. Be that.
You question your masculinity by even trying to attend therapy. Like,
that's big facts. We didn't even touch that one yet. I was just talking about family members and things like that, but not to mention your fucking masculinity.
Let me talk about something, bro. Like when I went to the doctor for something, it was another issue, and the nurse says, I think your issue is like stress related. And she said, just so you know, there's a therapist here in the building that'll talk to you for free right now. She's like, I'll call her. And before I could say, she was already on the phone. She's like, hey, I got a guy up here. I think you should come upstairs. He wants to talk to a therapist. Okay, so I just kind of went for it. I was like, all right, I've never done it, and here's an opportunity to do it. So, all right, I'm going to do it. Sat down with her, and I kind of just explained to her like everything I'm doing with work, with the Shy City Cypher, with media, with videos, just the whole thing. And afterwards, she was just she had a trainee in the building, and she told in the room, and she told the trainee, you got any comments? And she goes, she kind of was like, shit, I don't have nothing to say about it. Like she didn't have, and the point of that was that I asked her, do you think after hearing that I need therapy? And she had the most best response ever. She said, I don't think you need therapy. She said, I think you could benefit from it.
Right.
I like that.
Right.
So that made me look at it like, all right, she's not telling me I'm fucked up. She's telling me I could benefit and get better through it. So I'm down, man. I think I'm almost 40 years. I'm not gonna tell you how I'm almost 40 years old. And I think that,
bro,
I'm 40, man. Hey, appreciate you, brother.
Broke down at 40.
Yeah, facts. So I think I might be open to it, and we'll have that conversation and try to get into at least maybe look at you're on your 5th session, so it's I'm not started, you're started. Have you been to therapy?
Man, don't talk to me.
No.
Now here's the thing. I've been to therapy many times, even as a child, growing up, was forced into therapy. And I say that because as a child, you don't know what the fuck's going on, and you don't know whatever. So, being apprehensive, and then all of a sudden, and this is a long motherfucking time ago where there were no rules about anything, where your teacher could whoop your ass in school type shit. So it was a long time ago, and rules were different. They don't do things because, when you went to a therapist back then, especially as a child, they would have you looking at ink blots and all kinds of shit. The next thing you know, they're telling you that you're fucking crazy or he's got this kind of problem, when they didn't even know how to diagnose shit back then. Just saying that. But also throughout my life, going through therapy, going through marriage care therapy, and things of that nature, and then realizing that, man, I got a lot of fucking work to do. You know what I'm saying? And I have to what I do every day, because I'm not currently in therapy, but what I do every day is I try to wake up. I wake up every day, and I'm a better person than I was yesterday, and I do that daily. I don't like fucking with shit from yesterday. I'm not harboring on any shit from yesterday. I move forward. I don't let it bother me. And, you know, I take things as they come, and I don't know how to say it, but, you know, it's not that I'm sitting around going, fuck it, I don't care. But I put value on certain things, and I also, most importantly, boundaries on people, and understanding my boundaries, and understanding
Go
ahead.
So where does that come from, sir? Where were we trying to figure out? Where does that come from? Where does that mindset? Is that something you learned?
Because I was going to because of all the times I've been to therapy, and learning as I was in therapy that, oh shit, you know what I mean? Watching how I say things to people, be mindful of other people's feelings and shit like that. You know what I mean? Setting boundaries, being assertive, you know what I mean? Not using backdoor words, changing your train of thought, you know, because anger and some things of that nature are millisecond. Right. You know, it's when we let it fester, and then when we keep thinking about it, you just ruminate on it, that it becomes a fucking problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I can't do shit about yesterday. That's in the rearview mirror. What I can do today is be a better person than yesterday. And what I can do today is tell you that today, what you did yesterday, we have boundaries, sir, or ma'am, or whatever the fuck you identify with. Right. We ain't doing that over here.
Right.
In my humble boundaries, because I have the choice to either stand there, take it, listen to it, do whatever. I also have the choice to fuck off that conversation. I don't want to be a part of that conversation. Especially if it's negative or whatever. I don't own or operate anyone's behaviors. I'm in charge of mine. Okay. Period.
Real talk. Like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say that to that point, yes, you cannot control how people are going to act, but yes, you can control how you interact with them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to set those boundaries to where, hey, listen, this is where I draw my line in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things that I'm willing to do, but then there's certain things where I just have to put my foot down and just say, hey, listen, that's something that I'm not comfortable with. And when we're not proceeding, then you'll have those that will continue to try to step over the line. And it's only because they're that close to us, because anybody who really is like a stranger, so to say, they already are going to have that healthy distance. This is for the ones that are mainly the closest to us.
So you're saying, and I'm just to be clear here, that just like people know how to push your buttons. Is that what you? Nah, no.
I mean,
who's in charge of those buttons? Who's in charge of the buttons? If I'm sitting here and I'm saying I'm in charge of the show and these buttons right here, then who's in charge of them?
You are.
Okay.
You're absolutely in charge.
Absolutely
in charge of the buttons.
You're in charge of your buttons. I'm not trying to be a dickhead or nothing, but you're in charge of your buttons. I hate when people, I'm not going to say hate. Hate is a strong word. I don't like the fact that somebody says, oh, you're pushing my buttons. I'm not in charge of your buttons, bro. I'm not in charge of your buttons. You are. Now, if you choose to take whatever I said and run with it and be whatever, that's on you. That is on 100% you. I'm in charge of my buttons. When you ain't pushing my buttons.
When you walk into a place and we're a business or somewhere, and you know there's that one employee that's at the front and they're just a shithead. They're not, they didn't greet you when you walked in, they didn't nothing, they didn't tell you what the total was, nothing. They're just real shitty. They're trying to like project that energy, and if you accept that shit is on you.
Yeah.
I don't let the motherfucker at Dunkin' Donuts piss me the fuck off. Like, you know what? You're fucking pissed off. Then be pissed off. Like, see you later. As soon as I drive away from me, I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna get on my phone, put my movie on YouTube, hit my spliff, and keep driving and make money. Like, you can't let other people's energy affect you. Like,
not at all. I'm in charge of
Unless
my own
it's like
buttons.
baby mama and she gonna fuck with you.
No,
no.
No. Because even then, in that scenario, you're still in charge of your own buttons, man. If a person is yelling at you, you can either yell back or ask them to take it down a notch. They don't take it down a notch. It's up to you. You want to sit there and listen to it, or you want to engage in that?
I've learned to try to walk away.
Because
they take two people to argue.
Right. Yeah. Takes two to tango. And if you want to indulge in that, then by all means. That's what my whole shit is. When somebody starts being that way, I'm gonna try my best to say, hey, take it down a notch. Relax, chill. Let's talk. I'm right here. I'm in the moment. So let's go. If not, we ain't got shit to talk about.
Right.
I'm not engaging you in that.
Right.
Are there situations that may come up to where tensions are running high on both sides where you have to say, we need to table this?
No, I don't believe in tabling it. I believe in let's take a breath real quick and let's both.
What's tabling it for those that don't understand?
Basically leaving that whatever topic that's got tensions running high, leave it for 24 hours and then just say, hey, listen, just because we disagree on that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't love each other.
When shit like that happens,
you cannot tell a Puerto Rican woman to put no shit on the table for no 24 hours, none of that. She gonna be like, what? Put it on the table? What you talking about? Like, no, you can't put it on the table with a Puerto Rican woman.
First of all, don't get racist up in here.
I will.
But look,
listen, that's gonna be any woman, period.
And a black woman too. She ain't putting shit on the table. Hold up.
All right. Okay.
You ain't turned the fire down. We gonna finish this out, right?
Yeah. Well, let's be really clear, man. Like, if you are engaging in that already, you've already fucked up. If you're sitting there going back and forth with a motherfucker, you already fucked up. Maybe you need to take 5 seconds and calm the fuck down.
Hey, there's our rule. There's our rule.
Hey, there goes OT. Shout out OT with the 5-second rule.
5-second rule.
Give yourself 5 motherfucking seconds. Think about that shit before you open up your mouth again. Right. You know what I'm saying? Even you said it in the beginning of the show about make sure them words are sweet, baby.
Yeah,
make sure them words are sweet.
I try not to raise my voice or anything like that.
See, we don't use backdoor words. Try is a backdoor word, and because that leaves you that little crack just to say, hey man, you have to do, not try. Right. That's one of my things in life. And I tell this shit to my kids. I tell this shit to anybody that'll listen. Stop using backdoor words, and you'll know what they are as soon as you become cognitive of it. As soon as you become understanding, okay, what a backdoor word is. Maybe backdoor word. Why? Because you never gave me your word. You never said nothing. You said maybe.
Okay.
Right.
So I'll try.
So I guess a better way that I would say is that I do my best.
Fuck you, do your best. I do. Period. Okay. Because even if you say I'm doing my best, that leaves room for you to say, well, I tried. I did the best that I could. Did you really? Did you really put your best foot forward? Because listen, this also goes to accountability. Because if I say I did, I did. If I say I didn't, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if I move, and when I move around and I say things to somebody, I never say I do my best. No, I let them know I can or I can't. Period. Ain't shit wrong with saying no, and ain't shit wrong with saying yes. But the key is to use these words properly. Right. Don't try to do something, because if you try, I'll try to get up tomorrow morning. That automatically tells you in your psyche, the alarm goes off, you're like, shit. I'm not. No, I'll be up. I'll be up tomorrow. I'll be up at what time? 6. I'll be up. Now I'm going to try. And what you'll find is when you start figuring that backdoor words, and you figure those things out, you're going to catch yourself so many times. And it's because you'll realize it's because either you didn't want to do some shit,
right?
You didn't want to tell them no, so you gave them a maybe, you gave them I'll try, or I was thinking
I'll do my best.
Yeah, I'll do my best, or I was thinking about, you know what I'm saying? No, fuck that. You either do or you don't. Isn't that life? You either do or you don't. You know what I'm saying? You either got to take a shit or you don't. You either got to piss or you don't.
So we spoke on that earlier. That no word is such a strong, powerful word, and like you said, we talked about it. that stress levels as men anyway. Hey, if you be a man of your word, when you give it a yes, if it's a no, it's a no.
Yeah,
And you stay out of that gray area.
you know.
Yeah, stay out of that gray area. If you think about it, no, I can't do it. Apologize, I can't do that. You know, but if I do say I do, same thing. Because once you say yes to it, you take on that problem.
No, not taking on a problem. You have to be accountable for what you say yes for. You know
gonna,
what I mean?
Yeah, but you're gonna take a problem, because let's say you tell somebody you're gonna pick them up from work, and something go wrong. Now you already told them you're gonna pick them up.
Here's the thing. See that's not a gray area. That's not no shit like that. If something goes wrong that's not within your power, you know, it's called common courtesy. You call them and say, "Hey, this happened."
Right.
And if you're a person that is always doing what you say you're going to do, they're going to say, oh, don't worry about it. I figured something must have happened. Right. No worries. Keep it pushing. Thank you so much. And then it's over with instead. But this goes, when I talk about backdoor words, it goes beyond just saying yes to something or saying no to something.
It goes beyond. But I had a homie that was so bad that one time I was like, yo, can you do this one favor? He's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm 2 blocks away from your house. I'll be there in 60 seconds. He said, all right, cool. Right. I showed up. He didn't answer the phone. Rang the doorbell. His mom goes, he just left out the back door. And
wow. Well, you shouldn't be around that guy anyways.
Well, yeah, I wasn't after that, but
right. But I mean, the backdoor words are just like, even for self edification, you know what I mean? Because you will be surprised how much, once you're aware of it, how much you say. And especially, I'm gonna do, and these are things that you know you should be doing, or you know that there's something behind it. It's just like it's all really about being accountable for what you say and however you think. Because guess what? If this man does not say to himself, "I'm doing Shy City Cypher," it never happens. If he says, "I'm going to try," it may or may not happen ever. You know, you got to speak that shit into existence. That's true. You speak your life into existence. Speak to God. Speak to whoever it is, Allah or whatever you got. To speak that shit into existence. Say what it is. Make it happen.
Shout out to DJ Ace Vito in the comments. He said, most definitely great advice.
Yeah, I'm saying I and that's one of the things that, like, going to therapy, that they didn't say that to me, but it's something that after the fact, I was sitting back thinking about some shit.
It was one of those takeaways.
Kind of. But then I just was like, you know what? I'm going to stop saying I'm trying to do this, and I'm just going to do it. And what happened is I really started to really take that and go, damn, I didn't realize how much I said I'm going to try. Right. How many times I said maybe, how many times I said I'll think about it, or just even other words, you know, that just leave you just enough crack in the door that if you don't feel like it, or if you're tired that day, or whatever the fucking, now you have an excuse because you didn't say for sure. You know what I'm saying? I never said I was going to for sure be a rapper. I said I was going to try. It worked out.
Right.
Or maybe you just didn't put forth the effort because you didn't tell yourself I'm doing this shit. Right. To put it in that type of language.
There are a lot of people nowadays that who knows where they would be if they didn't have that type of mindset.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things that therapy has opened up for me, is that having that growth mindset.
Right.
Like there is no need to have a zero-sum mentality to where something's given, something has to be taken away.
Right.
You can have everything in abundance.
Okay.
It's just all starting here.
Right.
It's all starting with the mind. So having that positive mindset, waking up saying, hey, today's gonna be a great day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna crush it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, and just having just that starting there, I think is the root basis. Of course, there's so many things that, you know, we could all find the depression in. And I actually just read that there's a new report out that 40% of 18 to 24-year-olds are experiencing a mental crisis. 18 to 24.
That's crazy.
And
even younger.
Yeah. I've got friends family members that have unfortunately concluded their own existence at 21 or under,
Right.
and it's just it's an unfortunate thing to where they have to go through that kind of unfathomable pain.
Right. Well, part of that shit too is parents, because there's a lot. I'm not saying all parents or anything like that, but a lot of parents out there, that the stigma of therapy is, oh, they're gonna put my kids on a bunch of drugs and he's just gonna be a zombie walking around the house and shit like that. No, therapy is not about drugs and shit and being put on drugs. They may actually suggest something, but they can't make you do anything. I tell people that shit all the time. You can't, when they say, oh, you make me mad, I don't make you nothing.
Is therapy different for black people than it is people of color than it is for white people? Because I saw something on TikTok that said,
you're of melanin too.
No, but what I'm saying is
you just ask the question.
I'm not asking you.
You looking dead at me.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, but we talking as far as, like, I saw a TikTok that said this is how white parents, like, oh, my son is seeing things in the corner and doing this and this and this, and then the therapist goes, oh, we think they're just having an episode right now. We'll talk to them and we'll do this. And then there's the black parent saying, my son's seeing something in the corner and something, and the therapist goes, well, we need to put him on 50 milligrams of this and this and this and this and this.
That's a very simple answer for every person of color. Now I don't want to get too deep into it, but this is a generational thing. This is a generational breakup of the family. This is a generational breakup of the mother and the father. This is generational. And I can't even begin to really scratch the surface on that right now. And maybe on another show we can do that. But
it's a deeper, darker.
That right there is like a tar pit. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be really careful how we tread on that one. But it is, though. And to even expound on that just for a second, is that a person that is not of color possibly grows up in a different household where the parents are both there and the family structure hasn't been broken and fucked off, but the parents are both there and the parents are in the moment, and their parents let them go to therapy. Their parents allowed them the opportunity to choose if they wanted to be into therapy, or their parents said, hey, you're not feeling well, let's go talk to my counselor, they'll help you feel better. There's levels of resources. Yeah, that too, as well. That's a whole other thing. There's no resources. So there's levels to that, why it's different for people of color and those people that have no melanin. You know what I'm saying? But that, again, sticky road, sticky.
I mean, you got the elders and the families that don't even believe in the concept
of 100%.
therapy. So you're not going to have that resource right there to begin with. Just right off of that.
Let's talk about a whole generation of young men and women that were raised by their grandparents. And the grandparents said, now you with your old grandpa and he's hardcore, he don't give a fuck. He's get up, we gonna go to work, boy. You gonna sit your ass down. You're gonna bite the bullet. You're gonna, this is how you become a man. Yeah,
like Trey on Don't Be a Menace, right?
Well,
was it Trey or who was it? That was like living with his grandparents and in the projects, and he's like, hey, I'm Felicia's Kane.
Yeah, yes. I mean, there's. I'm just saying. But people of color, the struggle is way different and everything. And that brings us all the way back to the that stigma of therapy. And why? It's something so simple, but it exists.
Money. Because people just automatically think, you hear therapy and you're like, I don't have $400 to go to therapy.
Some people think it's money.
I would also say that due to the limited number of therapists of color.
Not true. There's a multitude.
Well, I can only speak off of my own experience,
right?
And it may vary for others. So,
right.
Let me just give that disclaimer right now. But it was a very, very difficult process for me through my employee assistance program to find a black male therapist.
But because that's your choice. That was your choice to have a black male therapist, right?
That was my preference because I could, in that when I was looking at it from my perspective,
right,
that no one could really understand my journey like a black male.
Right.
So that was the demographic that I preferred to speak to.
Right.
So then this way, if there's certain colloquialisms that I'm dropping, he understands.
Right,
and he
right.
can pick it right up.
I get you. But that doesn't mean that that other therapists are incapable of doing that.
Oh, absolutely not. You know, and
Right.
and I don't discredit them at
Right.
all whatsoever. That was just my
Your
personal,
preference.
yeah, that was
Right.
just my personal preference.
Yeah, but to just piggyback off of what you said, instead of saying there's a lack of, what we do know is there's a lack of resources.
Very true.
Resources, and I think the resources stand taller than the number of people of color that are therapists.
Yeah, very
Just
true. I mean,
saying.
you talking what, $400 every hour?
Yeah.
I mean,
Would you say that all the shooters are depressed?
I
All the Chicago fucking shooters that are doing all the bullshit are these depressed people that
Listen,
are lacking
listen,
resources
listen.
with
I will tell you this. And this is just you asking me. So this is an opinion. There's no facts based behind it. It's just an opinion. I think a lot of these kids are dealing with trauma. I think a lot of these kids are dealing with depression, and I think these kids are dealing with these broken, fucked up ass homes. And this goes back to what we always talk about, Jiz, is about men standing up and being accountable. Like when we talk about a motherfucker saying, well, man, that bitch be doing this shit to me and this, that too. You the one who stuck it in, or you should have known. You know what I'm saying? You should have known. Don't tell me she wasn't ratchet when you met her. Don't tell me you didn't get red flags when you met her.
You know, this is a deep conversation because we talked about how you cannot pick 100% the woman that you know is going to be sane the whole time and not give you no issues. You can have this one girl, everything's perfect, and 5 years down the line, you're in court losing all your shit.
Okay, but
you cannot pick the right one.
And nobody
no
said
way
anybody about picking anything. Okay, but I'm just talking about just having intercourse and having a baby and all that type of shit. Now,
we as men don't know how to pick them anyway.
You speak for yourself, sir. Speak for yourself.
I would say that for the most part, you may be an outlier, and you may not. You just may be the exception, not the rule. And all credit due. But for the most part, I just believe that men really don't have it all when we know how to pick them. Like, she has to be placed in our midst in order for that to happen. Because anytime that we pick, it's usually gonna be some bullshit that we know.
No. So let's back up right quick. Because I was having this conversation with my sister the other day, and the fact of the matter is, in a relationship, everybody's bringing trash to the relationship. Everybody's bringing shit to the relationship.
Oh yeah, we all got our shit.
And that woman may have, God knows what kind of shit she's been through. And then also too, there's a honeymoon phase. She's gonna be some kind of way with you anyways in the beginning.
Oh yeah,
and then once she gets comfortable, she's gonna then who let the fucking dogs out? You're gonna be like, what the fuck? But I will tell you this. There's always going to be red flags. If you've been through anything, your little spidey senses should have been tingling. Yeah,
oh, you knew
from
the beginning.
You knew, because it might be a mannerism. She might be the dopest chick in the world and it's classy as hell, and all of a sudden you see her do some real trashy shit.
She come out the bag on you.
Yeah. Instead of you going, oh, whoa, you're like, oh no, I like that.
Mama told me one day it was gonna happen.
Yeah, she didn't tell me when.
She told me it would happen when I was mature. I wish it would have happened then.
Yeah.
Hey. See, that's some true lyrics right there. See.
Yeah. So I mean, my whole thing is you knew what you was doing when you was doing it, because we all we all have a little bit of foresight. We all know what the fuck is happening. If I'm sitting here in front of you and I'm talking to you and I'm watching your demeanor and I'm not checking, but I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just hearing you. I'm listening to you, and I'm listening to how you articulate yourself. I'm checking your body language and everything else. It tells me a lot about you. Yeah. And we do that with women. But our first instinct, and it's an instinct, it goes all the way back to some animal shit. When we thinking of her body language, we want to see her get up and walk. Let me see how that shit move, or whatever the case may be. And
Drake said, "Pretty showed me an ugly lesson." What was the bar? Like pretty showed me some ugly lessons.
Yeah, but and we'll completely disregard the fact that her feet, toes, and everything's all ashy and fucked up, or her clothes are dirty. or she's got a hole under her shirt, and she ain't wearing that shit. She's like, oh yeah, nigga, and her, you know, we just because we're in that moment,
and she brought that out of her cousin's closet for
right
that night for the record.
Right.
Yeah, that's some wild shit. But I mean, it happens. But you know, we got a little off topic right there. We're running a little bit late. We got
a little late. We are.
Oh yeah. Chicago's in the building.
We're going to give it about another 15 minutes, and then we're going to be up out of here. But you know, I think you just in saying all this kind of stuff, you know, we joke and we laugh and everything, but we just have to be more mindful, you know, and we have to be accountable. Absolutely. Okay, and if that's the woman that a motherfucker chose and she's wild and crazy, well, then guess what? You're going to have to learn to deal with it. And that doesn't mean by anger, or by you know, you're gonna obviously be frustrated, but you're gonna have some coping skills, sir. You're going to have to put some tools in your toolbox, and the only way to do that is what? Therapy. Absolutely.
Therapy. There it is.
There's the only way you're going to be able to do that and to manage that crazy ass woman that you fucked up with is to get you some tools. And I ain't talking about gun. I ain't talking about your fists, your hands. I ain't talking about writing her a letter of cease and desist.
Oh no,
you know I ain't talking about getting
you writing C&D is going
yeah. I mean, I ain't talking about getting a motherfucking restraining order. I'm talking about some real tools, some real tangible tools mentally that you can deal with that, because you're gonna have to. Now that you done did the deal and everything is right there, you're gonna have to deal with it. And you're gonna have to learn, and the only way you're gonna get those tools, young sirs out there, I hate to tell you this, but you're gonna have to go to therapy.
And I think a part of it that scares me and probably scares a lot of people is knowing that there's that point where you have to reach full accountability because now you're not telling somebody else your issues, and you're not telling your brother you know what I'm saying? You're telling someone else it's gonna really be like, hey, I think you fucked up here, in other words, right? Or I think you did this wrong. And so I think that's the scary part about it, is knowing that you're going to walk into it and hear that you're not perfect.
Yeah.
And people don't want to hear that. It's like the same reason that we don't go to the doctor to get checked up.
We love doing this. We love doing this. We love this all the fucking time. It ain't me. How could it be? It's Jizzle. He always does this shit. You know what I mean? It ain't me. I'm always here for Jizzle. I do whatever for Jizzle. It ain't me. I didn't start the argument. Gizzo did. You know, I say this on every show.
Everybody's a victim.
There's a truth on one side. There's a truth on the other. And right in the middle of that motherfucker is the fucking absolute truth.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying?
3 sides to a story.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the only one that matters is the one in the middle.
That's
the truth.
That's the truth.
Because perception is a motherfucker. I can perceive what you say any way I want. You can tell me God is good. And in my heart of hearts, maybe I believe you. But if I perceive it the way I want to perceive it, that could be anything. Oh, what the fuck is this motherfucker talking about? God is good. To who? Not me. You know what I mean? That's how you perceive it.
And people's perception is their reality.
Yeah. So. And you can give it to me, and you could tell me that and give it to me with a handful of roses and $10,000 worth of gold. And if my perception is still what it is, it's going to be that.
That's not a lot.
I'm just saying. You know,
well, I mean, like we talked about, brothers,
that kind of going around.
Some of that is experience, some of that's life, and we talked about it, just having somebody to talk to, and that's where the biggest thing is having somebody to speak to. Again, getting some therapy, having someone to talk to, having someone to, and it goes to nurturing and mentoring, which is what our us of Melon are way behind. Is we missing those good mentors,
right?
And we trying to fill in the gap now. So that's why anybody that's out there, hey, chime in, lock in with us, make a comment to us, reach out and talk to us, brothers, because we all trying to figure it out right here.
Before you say anything, Jizzo, oh, actually, go ahead, and then
I just want to say, like, anybody that's watching, okay, y'all heard what OT just said. Y'all can call us. Y'all can. Let's be real right now and build a brotherhood. OT, can we really call, you know what I'm saying? Like, for whoever's listening, OT, tell them that they could really call you.
Yes.
Detector, can we call you at 2:00 in the morning, bro?
You're already fucking man. You already
Yeah.
fucking know.
Styles, can your brothers call you at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning? If it's like that,
If it's like that,
Yeah.
my Tyler gonna have me up anyway. So yeah, I'll be up. Absolutely, hit the line.
and that's
Hit
what
the
y'all
line.
and that's what y'all need to hear from the brothers that you guys are talking to and listening to. That yes, like and maybe I'm a stranger to you, maybe OT's a stranger to you, but just know that you could call one of your brothers, man. Just the way we just all said yes, that you could call us. You got somebody on your
Tap
phone
in
that-
with us.
They're gonna take your call.
Yeah.
And if not, man, hold off until Sundays at 8:30 and come to the check-in and rock with us and talk to us and let us know what's
you don't
going
have
on.
to show your face if you don't want to.
Nope, you
You
can
just
just
call
tune in on
you can
audio.
tune- yeah, you tune on audio. You don't got to show your face. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this is for. This is the check-in. Because I say it all the time. Show me a man that has a perfect day every day and everything. I'm gonna call you a motherfucking liar because he does not exist.
I got some oceanfront property in Idaho to tell you. fam.
Right. Yo, with
That's
that
what
being
we talking
said,
about. Right. Real talk.
we're gonna go around the room. Everybody give their thoughts, the final thoughts about tonight. Whatever, say your thing. OT, go ahead, run with it, bro.
I'm gonna take it like we talked about. Anybody that's listening to us, we appreciate you. Tap in with us. This is us trying to reach out. We making it. We making a stand. We gonna change something. We gonna do something. We gonna be here at 8:30. It may be 8:35. Sometimes it don't work
Right.
like we thought. We gonna be here though. Stay in, get in, shoot us some questions, shoot some information to us, ask a question, and know that we care about you. I do. I know these other brothers on the line do, and we got you.
Word, man. Shout out to OT. Jizzo.
I just want to say rest in peace to those who have found themselves in that situation and unfortunately went, to a space where you can't come back. And I want to say rest in peace to my uncle Lalo Villanueva, Lalo Sosa, and and to all the brothers, man, that have fallen for mental health and situations like that.
Right.
And everybody that we've known someone that's been in that situation, and I've talked to people in those circles, and they've been like, man, they just had to call. All it was a call. Okay. So, just want to put a spotlight on that, man, that all the brothers that have passed away and anybody ever passed away from mental health. And we're here, and that's what the show is for. And, much
Word,
love.
man. Thank you so much for that one.
Thank you, man.
You, any thoughts, any words? Go ahead.
To anybody that's listening, if you need to speak to someone, just know that there are people that are here for you. And all you have to do is just simply reach out. Sometimes I know that may be the hardest thing to do because you're just unsure of what's going to happen on the other end. But just know that there are people that are out here that truly care for you and truly want to see the absolute best for you. With that, all the best in your journey. Always remember, whatever you're not changing, you're choosing.
My man. God damn.
That's deep.
Yeah, and I'm going to end this by saying this, man. Anybody out there that is feeling like in absolute destitute and they feel like they want to harm themselves, man, please, before you do anything, reach out to somebody. Reach out to a suicide hotline. Reach out, call 911. Do something. Talk to somebody first. Don't react. Don't talk to someone. Make sure you talk to someone. Call your mama. Call your brother. Call your uncle. Everybody's got a favorite uncle. Call his ass. You know what I'm saying? Call your favorite auntie. Call your titi, your grandma, your fucking your well out. You know what I mean? Call somebody. Call someone.
My brother last week. He drove from Indianapolis. He was already here for my niece's graduation. And he was like, "Hey, we need to talk."
Yeah, see?
I wrote a song, man. Rest in peace to my brother Mike One, man. I wrote a song after he passed away, and part of the song said, "Just know I love you. You'll get to see another day." And that was the being part of the hook. And just know I love you. It's always another day, man. No matter what.
Yeah. So with all of that being said, I want everybody out there to understand. Again, we're not therapists, we're not counselors or anything close to that. We are men that have had a journey.
Yes.
We're still walking our journey. We're still growing every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't like to hear what we have to say because maybe you don't like to hear the truth. Maybe the truth is in there in what we're saying. And maybe you should sit back for a second and rethink your thinking. Maybe you should say to yourself, therapy ain't that bad.
Right.
Maybe you should talk to a friend. Maybe you should do something about it instead of sitting and wallowing in your own shit. It's not good. It's not healthy. And I'm going to tell everybody out there, man, seek help, get well in your mind. And once you get well in your mind, man, your body and your soul will follow. I promise you that. And if you feel like the world is against you, man, you're wrong. We here. We definitely going to be here every motherfucking Sunday at 8:30 or 8:35. But we'll be here, and we're here to listen. We're not here to yell at you and tell you how fucked up you are. We're here to tell you that you're going to be all right. If we got to walk you through it, you're going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? If I got to get off this thing and end some shit and drastically end the show, hop in the car and make sure you don't jump or make sure you don't do something stupid, I will. Me personally, I will. So just know that there are people out there that do give a fuck, and the check-in always gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry I say it that way, but that's just how I talk.
We feel that.
Absolutely.
So this was a gem that my dad gave me, and I'm gonna give it to everybody the same way that it was given to me. Of all the muscles that you have in your body, your mind is the strongest.
Yeah.
So whenever you want to start or stop doing something, you will.
Yeah. Big facts. Whoa. Big facts, because I will say it again, like I quit drinking. Motherfucker, swear to God, I need therapy for that. I need rehab. I needed whatever. I ain't need shit but to tell myself I ain't doing it. That's it. You know? But with that being said, God bless everybody, man. Be safe out there. You know, we will be back. Like always, man. This has been the check-in, man. We're out of here.
Let's go.
We appreciate you. Peace.